My name's Samir. This is the ChemLogic CL1 gas monitor, and the general purpose of this is to detect the amount of isocyanate in the area, which we work with a lot of it in our plant with TDI and MDI. So it's pretty useful to know how much ISO is in the area and whether we're exposed to a dangerous amount. The important parts of this machine is the pump, which takes the air in through the inlet and exhausts it out the outlet. The optical sensor, which reads this tape that reacts with the isocyanate and turns pink based on how much isocyanate's in the area. So when I turn this on, there'll be a little alarm that goes off because it's just starting to turn on and power on. It'll be yellow for a bit, but it'll eventually go green. Once the pump starts working, it'll show how much isocyanate's in the area. See, as of now, we have 0 parts per billion because we're in an office space. So the air that's going in here is free of isocyanates. If the air is actually contaminated with isocyanates, there will be a number here that will show up that's higher than 0. This light will turn red, and an audible alarm will sound. There are ways to maintain this, and we'll cover that next.
My name is Douglas Vandermeid, and I'm one of the operations engineers here at BASF Malcolm, Iowa. And I'm going to cover kind of basic maintenance on our ChemLogic unit. So the first thing we'll do is how to change the tape. So there are 2 ways you know you need to change the tape. So there is an expiration date posted on every one of these things. So when the tape is expired, we know it needs to be changed. And if you look up in the corner, this says 60 days. The tape, once it is installed, is good for 60 days outside of a refrigerator. So if this countdown gets to 0, it's gone too long and it needs to be changed. What you need to do first is get to the menu. In order to do that, you hit this F1 button, and it'll take you to this general menu. The up and down arrows let you scroll through your options, and you hit the gate and tape. You open the tape, and then you can turn off the machine. Once you have the machine turned off, you can unthread this tape. This outer ring pops off, and then you can throw this whole unit away. These boxes are kept in the refrigerator between the EHS specialists and the operations manager's office because they need to be stored below 0 degrees centigrade and away from food. So you just pop the center ring out and you have your new outer ring. There's little tabs on there that you can peel off. You peel them off, you pop the new on, and then this will just hang on the ring. The tape goes over the first peg, under the second peg, and then threads up, over, and on. Then you just roll it forward a little bit to ensure that it has been threaded correctly. The tape will go bad before it actually runs out, usually. So don't worry about wasting a little bit of tape. It's probably going to be wasted just as part of the operations. And turn your machine back on. It's going to go through its typical self-check. Alright. And then what you want to do is hit the menu button. You go back to your gate and tape. You reset the time. Close the gate. Hit done. It's going to ask you to start analysis again. Alright, so the next we're going to cover is the basic and advanced cleaning of this particular unit. So the advanced cleaning is pretty simple. Since this is an optical sensor, it's prone to getting dust and that type of material on it. So oftentimes the only thing you need to do to get this clean is you go to your menu, hitting F1 again, your gate and tape. You open the gate, remove the tape, get it out of your way, and just use some typical air duster. You put it in the inlet and you just give it a couple squirts, and then you can reinstall your tape. Tighten her up. Close the gate. Click done. Now you have to go down to the maintenance menu, or service menu, I apologize. Click enter. That's going to highlight this enter password. 1, 2, 3, 4. Enter. Done. And now you can go to optic calibration. And you start. So if the number comes out below 145, it'll tell you that everything's okay. You can click done. Take you back to the main menu. And you can restart your analysis. The best way to know that this is happening is that this little light will turn yellow and there'll be a little system alert up there, and that'll tell you that it's too dusty and it needs to be cleaned. The more advanced cleaning starts with the same set of steps. So you get to your menu, gate and tape, open the gate, and at this point you're going to want to turn off the machine. You take your tape off again, but this time we're going to need to get into the unit a little bit more. So take your screwdriver and take off this. This is just a dust cover, so it's not particularly important, and it's not going to have anything other than the dust cover. But the next step is a little bit more integral to the system. So you'll need to be a little bit more careful with it. These screws also tend to fall out, so watch it. There's also a little nut on it that tends to disappear, so be careful while you're taking them apart. So we take this terminal block off. I suppose terminal block might not be the right term for it, but it's slides it out. There'll be two positioning posts on the back that fit back into this, so when you go to put everything back together, it'll fit correctly. And there's tape to tell you which side needs to be out, and there's a little bar here that lets you know which side is in. And there are 4 little ports here. There's only one port that's important. It's the third one in from the outside. That is where the optic calibration sensors, or the optic sensors, are. So what you'll do is take a Q-tip, and I like to use a little bit of lens cleaner. All of this maintenance stuff is kept in, or where the respirators are kept, so between the break room and the plant. A couple squirts on there. You don't want to get it too wet. because it takes forever to dry, and it angers the tape when you start it back up again. So you're gonna stick it in there and just kind of swish it around. If you get it, typically you'll see a little bit of dirt on there, and if you aren't getting far enough in, you kind of need to mold the Q-tip a little bit extra. You can do that as well. And in, swirl it around. Now I start putting everything back together. So start with this, make sure right side out. It'll set in. Use your pins. The pins will hold it. That'll allow you to screw everything back together. Reinstall the guard here. Rethread the tape. Alright, at this point we're ready to turn the machine back on. Switch on the side. It's going to go through its normal self-check again. It'll tell you if it's passed, and it'll go again to the menu. Click your menu button, scroll down, the service menu, enter. Again, it'll highlight the password 1, 2, 3, 4, enter. It's going to unhighlight it and just have stars. Done. Go to optic calibration. You can close the gate from here and start. So it's going to go through here, and it has this DAC, and it's just kind of telling you roughly how dirty it is. And again, below 145 it'll accept. You click done. Main menu. Start analysis. I'll take you back to the screen. Pretty quick here, the pump will kick back on, and you're running.